wanna see. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I worked for Team Idaho Property Management, and I showed them that house a year before all of this happened.
So
And
2020.
so I didn't know them personally, but I've met them, and I was living probably half a mile away when all this happened.
Wow.
I've lived in Moscow most of my life, and know 90% of the police. I know the judge personally. I know the county clerk. So,
And Kenny, when you say those girls, which girls are you referring to?
Michaela and mm,
Oh, did we lose him? I think you're on mute. And
Did
Kenny,
he say? Oh, did he say Kayla?
hang on. Let me just say too, Kenny, the reason for the hesitation is because I'm getting constant requests for that, and so most times I'm not sure if it's legit or not. But go
I
ahead.
don't know how I can prove it to you, but I swear on my children that I'm from Moscow. I can tell you the owner of Team Idaho Property Management. You can look it up on Google to verify.
I believe you.
So,
I mean, I'd have no reason to not. I mean, other than the names weren't right when you said it. Kaylee. I got it, and I get it.
Yes.
Like you probably weren't
I
expecting
I've
to get
yeah.
called up and talk. I totally get it. So what can you tell us about this house? I'm going to try to zoom in on this here.
It's an old house, man. It's a really old house. The owners lived out of town. They didn't live in Moscow at all. They just leased it. They gave it to us, and we had leased it. We had been doing it for probably 5 or 6 years, I believe. And they wanted nothing to do with it. As soon as that happened, they immediately donated it to the U of I, and U of I wanted it gone. It became a stain on the campus, and it became an unwanted attraction. I mean, there's still people that drive by it almost daily, I would say, just to gander.
Yeah. Hey, Kenny, can I ask you a quick question about that property management?
Hmm.
How much are they charging, or were they charging each individual student for a rental like that?
Man, I don't remember. I mean, it goes up every year. So they're responsible. It doesn't matter if one person pays 90% and the other three pay 10%. It's just long as the entire amount is given. And then I couldn't tell you accurately. I mean, I'd just be
So
guessing.
like only one person rents it, and then they all
No,
have
all
to
four of them
contribute?
are on the lease.
Oh, gotcha.
All of
Okay.
them are on the lease. And if one person is unable to come up with the rent, the other three are responsible.
Oh, got it. Okay. And any tunnels that you know of, any secret
There's
hidden
there's
rooms or
no
doors?
tunnels, nothing like that. The only tunnels in the area is the steam tunnels that are on campus, and they're a good distance away from that house. So there's no tunnels, nothing like that. I mean, there's a lot of crazy conspiracies going around this case, and I
Let
can tell
me.
you.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. So that's interesting. I look. I don't know if there's tunnels or not. It seems that this is one of the pictures, if you can see that, that
Yep.
has really stirred up some attention online. Like that's a latch, and it just seems like, what would that lead to? Like I mean,
It-
not that I'm expecting you to know, but it's like I could see some speculation around that.
So, like I said, it's an old house. Those cabinets and stuff were installed not when the house, I mean, years later after the house was built. So those are newer than the entire house.
So maybe they leave that for access to some circuit or
Something.
breaker.
But I'm telling you, I know for a fact that there's not tunnels. There's not. I've been underneath the house. I've seen the foundation.
So when you heard about this, give me like your first 48 hours of hearsay or.
So Moscow is a really quiet community. I mean, there is some drug problem, but it's a lot of either A, college kids, or B, locals that just have drug issues.
Try to say rug without the D, just for.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Don't worry
I
about it.
apologize.
I don't know if it'll get kicked, but I don't want to. So
A lot of locals with drug issues or college kids who do what college kids do. And so, and as far as like violent crime, the majority of violent crime is a DV. And if it's not DV, it's bar fights. And so this was something huge. I think the last murder was 10 years prior, and that was at a Wendy's. And I remember that too.
was that related to college kids? Was that?
Nope, it was some guy who had a mental breakdown. He was not taking his meds. He murdered his mom, I believe, or murdered one of his family members, and then went to the Wendy's and started shooting. And yeah.
So how often? And I guess chat too. If you guys got any questions, like someone's asking you if you know Adam, the bartender. I'm assuming.
I mean, from the so the main bar I went to is the Alley. I didn't really go to the Corner Club a lot because it's a college bar, and I'm older. I don't really. I mean, I'm in my mid 30s right now, and so and it was always, especially on Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturdays, it's packed. I mean, it's shoulder to shoulder, and so trying to go in there and get a drink, it's tough. And so, I mean, if you would give me a last name and he's a local, I probably know him. Or if I don't know him, I know someone who does.
Has there? Okay, I'm just gonna put you on the spot. And obviously, dude, I appreciate you being legit and saying that, and I think Phoenix would too. We've had trolls in the past, but I think you're legit as far as like the eye test or the voice check or the voice test, if that's even a thing. But I want to know, what's the general consensus of the local?
He's 100% guilty.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I have my suspicions. I mean, your name is Alpha. Steve talks to Alpha. You know, tell us something that we can go back and say, yeah, this guy's legit.
Okay. Judge was my judge when I got in trouble.
What'd you do?
What did I do? I have several MICs, and I have a disturbing the peace charge. That was back in 2017 was my last arrest. And so I spent time in Latah County Jail too.
And did you go to college? Were you part of
I went to U of I for 2 years, and then I transferred and went up to Coeur d'Alene and finished off at NIC.
Yeah, Coeur d'Alene's nice.
Do you know Steve Gonzalez? Goncalves?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Do you by chance knew anything in regards to what happened to Kopaka?
He was military, right? And he was over in Pullman. And I think that they're 100% different cases. Nothing related at all, other than the fact that somebody died and he was in the area. I think he got home from overseas, and like so many veterans have in the past, had a lot of mental health issues. And it was ultimately his downfall. I don't think it had anything to do with this Brian or anything like that. I mean,
allegedly he did work in the IT industry, and he allegedly was security at one of these colleges.
So WSU is over in Pullman, and he might have worked there. I mean, all the girls went to U of I. They're the two largest schools in a very large radius. I think other than if you go down to Boise, BSU, or over towards Seattle, are the only two schools that are bigger in size in the area.
So what convinced you 100% he's guilty?
I mean, phone data. I mean, I don't think the touch DNA is enough on its own, but I also Moscow doesn't have any reason to try and want to, I mean, frame somebody. Well, I mean, the Moscow police officers, I know them. I know you can look up their. I went to school with Ryan Schneider. If you go to the Moscow Police Department, Ryan Schneider was in my graduating class.
So
I think
since
he's a sergeant on the Moscow Police Force.
I've heard of him. So since you know so many people, what about Brent Payne? What do you know about him? You know, he was in the 82nd Airborne. He was a ranger. Kopaka was a ranger. Do you think maybe they knew each other? I mean, you know,
I mean, possibly. I mean, if you
Payne-
get two guys who are rangers, and that's a very tight knit community, if you get two guys that are rangers in an area that probably doesn't have a whole lot of rangers, yeah. I mean, there's only one VA in the area.
so
And so
was
if they-
Payne's brother. Payne's brother served on the 82nd Airborne, 4th Division. But I will say this, if there was a connection, I think this whole connection was Kopaka. Kopaka knew Koberger. Kopaka knows Payne.
How can you say that Kopaka knows Koberger? Other than that, they both worked in IT, which is a huge field.
Okay, so who moved there first? Was it Kopaka or Koberger that moved from Pennsylvania, where they both were, to Washington and lived not less than how far away? 85, 75 feet?
Yes, and pretty much shared a parking lot. And I just want to interject. Props to you guys too. Just saying, like, as far as so people can hear over, it's just like let the point get finished. So I and Alpha, is it Kenny or Kennedy? I tend to agree from Kopaka and Koberger. I feel like they had to have known each other, but I'm interested to hear on why you think, outside of just IT being a big thing, but it's really not that big of a city, and they live so close, they share a parking lot. Like,
I've lived in Moscow my entire life. There's other people that have lived in Moscow their entire life, and we have never met. It's not that small of a city. I mean, the majority of the population is students, and so every 4 years, another 50% of the population changes. And so there's lots of people, and still, I mean, say Moscow is 30,000 people. Every 4 years, 14,000 people move in and out. Still, not knowing somebody in a 14,000, 15,000 group is not a huge thing to not be possible.
would you say? Oh, go ahead, Phoenix. You got it.
You know, and we're just speculating. We don't know for sure, but that seems to be the big mystery. Was Kopaka tied to any of these people, any of the police department, any of the feds? And nobody seems to know. This guy is like mysterious guy. I'm a veteran. I'm not saying that he did this, but what if he was on contract? He works for the government. You know, there are.
For what reason?
Did you know this about Koberger? That in high school, he wanted to become an Army Ranger?
I mean, yeah, he wanted to become a police officer too. I mean, he seems like the kind of guy that probably was bullied a bit, wanted to become more of a badass.
So is it possible that that's the kind of things that he gravitated to? The people in those types of areas?
Absolutely, it's possible.
The specialties?
But
and how in the heck did he get in that area?
I mean, so
I mean,
WSU has one of it's a D1 school.
right. It's
It
a
has-
small area of people. Why would someone of that caliber want to relocate to that specific area? I mean, if
That
I could
caliber,
go
what do you
anywhere in the
mean?
world,
So, can you explain what do you mean by that caliber?
it's a smaller town. It's like
So
a,
what do you mean by his caliber? That person of that caliber.
you know, he's ex-military. He has a Purple Heart. He knows people.
I mean,
I'm
my
just
dad's
saying-
ex-military. My dad has a Purple Heart. He's been in the Moscow area most of his life.
But you just said yourself you know half of the police department.
You're right, because I've had a lot of interactions with them.
But not only that, I get your point, but can you understand? There has to be some common connection, and it seems to be the most mysterious person in all of this, if you're looking at the big picture. Now, I'm not saying that he was, I'm just speculating that it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
But you guys are all thinking about this giant conspiracy, but you go down to the basic of it. For what reason? Why did they want 2 or 4 or however many they intended or he intended to originally murder?
So
Why?
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here. Have you been watching any of Birdie's videos?
No.
Have you been on any of these lives besides today?
No.
Okay, Birdie, go.
Okay. Like kick him?
No, I didn't mean
Oh,
that.
jeez.
I
Alpha
meant-
Kenny, come back up, dude. I'm sorry.
No,
I thought. Oh,
I
come back
meant-
up, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disconnect like that. My bad. Please.
I meant because he said conspiracy.
Yes.
I wanted you to go and show him and talk specifically because we've almost got 500 people in here.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important if you just tuned in, you see the topic Idaho 4 breakdown, but you need to know the logic.
Yeah. And sorry, Phoenix.
Yeah, and then I heard what Birdie was talking about, and I heard you guys starting to go into some, I mean, in my opinion, pretty crazy conspiracy theories.
You know what? And first of all, I give you props because you have articulated your point back on a live that you unexpectedly got called up for. And this is what Phoenix and I ultimately try to do, is have conversations where it's okay for people to disagree with us. And I'm not trying to sound like a cornball when I say that. I say that pretty much every night. So I will give you props on that. Now, if I could go down kind of the first little tidbit of like this rabbit hole, you might want to call it, or as you would say,
Yeah.
like conspiracy, I would ask just a couple like kind of leading up questions to it. And it's like, would you say that in Moscow there's a you've said there's a rug scene both on and off campus? Would you say that there's regular intervention with the police for the frats that's not just underage drinking? And
No.
you wouldn't say there's like a bunch of fights, they've never been under investigations?
I mean, no.
Okay.
Well, you
So
can-
I think the biggest like thing that Moscow is known for and is becoming more known for, that is kind of a stain on the community, is there is, in my opinion, a cult that's trying to take over the town. It's the Christ Church, and if you go to the Moscow subreddit,
Chat.
that's
I've heard this before.
all they're talking about. But again, Doug Wilson, who is the pastor of the Christ Church, I mean, he's an idiot. I mean, he believes in women being subservient. He wants, I mean, pretty much 1920s America to come back as far as women and their role in a household. He doesn't want them working. So that's what Moscow is dealing with right now.
How long has this been going on there in the area? It's not the first time I've heard this.
So they really started to become more prevalent within probably the last 10 years.
Okay.
And within the last 5 is when they've started making national headlines. I think Vice News did an article on
Yeah.
them.
Have you
My
oh sorry, finish.
father, his ex-wife was a member, and she is very outspoken about how awful the church is. She has a podcast that she talks about. I forget the name of it, but I could find it out what it is.
Is there, so outside of like just like what you were talking about with like how they would treat people or the women, like is there a violent aspect to it? Like are they full on cult blood ritual
Again,
sacrifice?
I know people that are members of it, and they're the most amazing people. They're super nice, super. But again, I think a lot of the people that are in this cult are unaware of all of the hate and misogyny that their leader is spewing.
So how does this connect to the Idaho 4?
I don't believe it is at all. I'm just saying what Moscow is known for.
Okay. Well, then
Moscow is trying to move past the Idaho 4. That's not what Moscow wants to be known as.
And I can see your
And
point
so-
being a loco with that. I totally understand that. I get it.
Got it.
And now you
So-
got. Go ahead, Phoenix.
Why don't we go into the funding? I mean, maybe if he understands the bigger picture,
Yeah.
then maybe he can have a more informed decision and make an educated guess based off of information.
Yeah. And I mean, Alpha, if I call you Alpha Kenny,
Yeah.
is that something like, are you okay with me walking you through this right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I have a bunch of notes that are all random here.
You're good.
So,
You might hear my kids in the background, but
that's all right.
please continue.
Okay. So,
Data. Data
All
no
right.
so kama.
so this is one of the things that I thought was interesting.
Data.
And what that is, so let's go back to Brian Koberger's past. Brian Koberger, he studied criminology at DeSales University. Criminology,
Okay.
there's a difference between criminology and criminal justice. Criminal justice, you study the system, the police, right? Criminology, you study how people think.
Criminology is the study of criminals.
Yep, it's a study of their psychology. And so like I'm personally a believer that Koberger's survey, while may seem weird, I can see why somebody who's only one of two people that gets recommended for an internship from his professor who worked extremely closely with the DOJ and the FBI with one of the most infamous serial unalivers, the BTK. She co-authored a book with him and is one of the only professors to have a direct tie to him. And actually, when the Idaho 4 went down, the sheriff in the BTK's, the sheriff in the BTK's daughter, wherever she lived, went and approached her and said, how wild is it, how eerily similar these cases are?
So, wait, BTK was a serial,
Unaliver.
yes, who via the name bind, torture,
Yes.
schmill.
Yep.
And so I don't think that other than the fact that this was a one-off incident, I mean, I don't see a whole lot of similarities.
So,
Okay. So I want you to hold that thought real quick, Bertie. In the beginning, this was just a abbing, an unaliving. Now it's come out, and I saw it in the documents in an article early on. Now Steve just confirmed it was a I don't think I can say it. You can't beat a dead horse, right? It was in that context of that word.
Steve,
Now-
as in Kaylee's
father.
dad?
Yep.
Yes, Kaylee's father.
Okay.
Now the rumor is now, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but wait until court, that she was also I
Joe?
don't know how to say it.
She isn't
Yes.
So, yes. So there's definitely more to it than just a simple college town unaliving, in my opinion. So and Phoenix, I just want to kind of get through it, and then I think that we can bring that up when we get to the part where he's in Idaho. But going back to it, right? So there's this connection with the serial unaliver. It's really not.
Hold on, buddy.
It's really not that he studied under the serial unaliver. It's that his professor had close ties with DOJ, DHS, and again, was regularly teaching back how this guy who did these heinous crimes thought. And Koberger studied underneath her. Koberger's survey that he put on Reddit it's word for word, actually. I have it here. It's almost word for word from a DARPA handbook, which is like a third-party subcontractor of the DOJ. And it's questions that are just like slightly changed almost to where it's like you wouldn't want to get caught for plagiarism. And I have some examples. Oh, did he? So I don't know if you could hear that all, but
my Wi-Fi was kicked out for a second. So
you're good.
The last 45 seconds, I didn't catch anything. Also, someone was saying I was speaking Spanish to my kids. I was speaking Portuguese, and that's because my wife is Brazilian. So I don't know if you're still doubting that I'm from Moscow. I don't know why.
No. I got
somebody
it.
in chat was.
I knew what you were saying.
So, okay. I believe what's more important is not that it's the connection that, oh, Brian Koberger studied underneath somebody who studied a serial unaliver. Now Brian Koberger wants to go and replicate that serial unaliver. I think it's more important to understand how important, how many times did I just say important? I think it's important to understand that Koberger is being taught by one of the best who worked with the DOJ and the DHS in studying how heinous criminals would think. And everyone wanted to talk about his Reddit survey. And then you look up the DARPA handbook, and for example, Koberger's survey question says, before making your move, how did you approach your target? The DARPA handbook says, describe how you identified your target outside the initial sequence. And you follow these all the way down, and it's literally like you copy your buddy's paper and it's like, hey, just change it enough so I don't get caught. What's your initial action? What was the first move that you made in order to accomplish your goal? So on and so forth, where even down to the ones where it's like, how did you feel during, before, and after the crime? So what that tells me is like Koberger was this criminology student who was only one of two students that got recommended by this professor to go to Washington State. Now, remember, this professor has very close ties with DOJ and DHS to the point where I think that she would know, I think it's plausible that she would know that Washington State is about to start receiving millions of dollars from the NIJ, which is the DOJ's research arm. For
the NIJ, what is that an acronym for?
What is it actually? So I don't. The National Institute of Justice.
Okay, all right.
So I believe that it's not unreasonable to think that that professor would know that, recommend him for it, and it's to study predictive criminal behavior. So what is that? What does that kind of summarize? It's like, oh, we're gonna try to figure out how criminals think, predict their behavior, and then stop it before it happens. So then you go and you look into this funding, which I just had it pulled up, unless it's...
So, I mean, both U of I and WSU are grant schools. They receive hundreds and hundreds of different grants and different funding from all sorts of different things. And so them getting funding is not abnormal at all.
Right. Every college gets funding. But what are the chances that Brian Koberger transfers schools? He's not even there 3 months to a school that gets these millions of dollars of funding. And not only did they study predictive criminal behavior, it was predictive criminal behavior in emerging adults in a non-clinical setting, which pretty much means they're going to study college-age kids outside of the classroom, either willing or unwilling, with that study going on. And there's other technologies that are being used, like geofencing. There's like an AI aspect to it, but regardless, so that's going on. So how weird is it that Brian Koberger goes to the school that's getting millions of dollars to study predictive criminal behavior in pretty much like what a Koberger would be? And so the guy studying in the department that got that funding goes and does this crime. Now the crime is over, and Idaho now gets millions of dollars of federal funding from the STOP Act to prevent violent acts of crime from happening on campus where the kids went. 10 minutes away, the dude where the money came to was the unaliver and went and did it. And then where the students went to school is now where they're getting the millions of dollars for the Stop Act.
I think you're grasping at, I'm trying to be disrespectful at all, but I think you're grasping at straws. I think that you are connecting things that are not connected.
Can I ask you seriously? Is this
Yeah.
this is a serious question? Like, so you said you've never seen any of my videos. You've never seen a conspiracy thing. You just so happen to be from Moscow. You kind of seem like you a little, and I'm giving you credit. You kind of seem like you hustled us a little bit as if you didn't know much about the case, saying their name wrong at first. But now you're knowing all about the funding and all of the IT. If I ask you if you're a cop, you have to tell us, Alpha.
No, I'm not a cop. But what I'm saying, I forgot her name for a second. I haven't been. When it first started, I was following it daily. Now it's getting closer to the trial, and I'm just like at the point, like, let's just wait and see, because I believe that there's going to be so much more damning evidence that comes out when the trial starts.
So you had said I was grasping at straws.
Mm-hmm.
I would say grasping at straws from stuff in court documents, since you don't like, not that you don't want to look at conspiracies. I appreciate you hearing me out. Touch DNA on a sheet, but no murder weapon. No photo evidence of the guy who's about to get put in front of a pew pew squad in the car. No really other evidence that shows signs of exit, entry. No, multiple other people's DNA. The roommate sees the victim on the ground, texts her roommates, goes on social media, goes on Indeed, the other roommate makes phone calls to her parents. Students are at the house before the cops show up, and there's an 8-hour delay. That's grasping at straws.
100%. As far as the girls not calling police immediately, I mean, people deal with trauma differently, but I can't see how that's possible. I don't see how you call other people over first, and you're right. No way to explain why their police weren't immediately called. I think it's more likely that Koberger was antisocial. He was very intelligent, and he wanted to test his intelligence. He wanted to see if he could commit the quote the perfect crime. Why was all of the phone data? I mean, there's no explanation for why his phone turned off, why it turned on at those specific times, why then he took the route he did to go back to his house. And during that time, it's very easily he could have gotten rid of the murder weapon, and nobody would ever find it. There's nothing but fields out there. He just has to go dig 6 inches down in a field, and nobody's ever going to find it.
Yeah, that's true.
Moscow doesn't have all these cameras like most cities do. Most of the cameras are like Ring doorbell cameras or gas station cameras. So there's not a whole lot of camera evidence or video evidence that is possible in this case.
My question,
I'm surprised that there's even those little bits of video evidence. I mean, and the guy who turned in the video evidence, his last name is
well, I don't know if you want to say his last name.
It's public. It's Francetic. And I went to school with his son too, and so
why then, from your perspective, if we go with so pretty much you're agreeing with the 90% of the mainstream narrative, but you're also just like, yeah, it's weird that the roommates didn't call the cops. So my question then is, how do you explain, if this is such a straightforward college town unaliving by a single incel loner criminology student who went in there, unalived 4 people with a K-bar in under 20 minutes with no signs of exit or entry? Why is there so many court redactions, gag orders, sealed indictments, sealed camera footage, and all this other sealed evidence. And how would that make sense in this type of case? And I would argue it can't just be brutality and it can't just be high profile, because if anything, high profile cases have more leaks, and also the brutality of it, all unalivings are brutal. There's been mass, I can't say the S word, and there's also been mass pew-pewings, and there's not even been this level of it.
You're right. But because this is such a relatively small community, I believe that all these gag orders and everything are in order to ensure that there is zero possibility for having a improper jury selection or him not being able to have a fair jury selection. Because if that happens, then everyone's already impartial and everybody already has an opinion. I
agree with that. I could see that, but I'm also saying, again, this isn't the normal. It's not, this is like, you got a CIA level PR team working this thing. And another aspect of it is, how come then for the first time in American court, so in over 200 years, that the defendant has to prove a reasonable suspect? That should be the state's job. And then you look at
Sorry, say that again. The defendant has to prove a reasonable.
So the judge said that because they don't want any surprises in the trial, that they want the defense.
I know, but he was transferred from Latah County to Ada County. Is it the Ada County judge saying this, or?
I believe it was before the transfer. Yes.
So that would be the Latah County then.
Is that right, Phoenix? That's correct.
I believe it was before his transfer, but the current judge is Judge Hippler.
Yeah, yes. And that's Ada County.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say, though, is the bigger picture is that the defense should never have to show a different reasonable suspect. The defense's job is to just show that there's...
I don't think that they have to. I think that's their only out. That's the only way that they're going to provide the jury with reasonable doubt that it was not him. And that's what the jury is like, beyond a reasonable doubt.
But that's what a court is for and what a trial is for, correct?
You're right. And that's the only way that Kohberger's team is going to get him off, is if they provide reasonable doubt. And the only reasonable doubt is by providing another whodunit.
Right.
I don't think that's the only way they're going to get him to, or show the jury that he's not guilty. I think the 2 to 3 minute time frame to actually do these unalivings is going to lend it to themselves to see, per the court documents, the testimony, the timelines, the text messaging, Snapchats. He had 2 to 3 minutes to get out of there, but yet his vehicle was seen somewhere else.
So I've looked at some maps and I don't know the validity of them, but it basically shows where he drove and how he drove there. Based off of his cell phone records, it was shown that he knew the area. He had been there. How many times before? They caught.
Was it 23?
Go ahead.
23?
And it was within 100 feet of that house. So there is somebody that he may have known that lived around the corner.
So as of now, the defense hasn't said that. They have not claimed that he knew somebody in the area. Do you believe that that's going to be something that they're going to say or try to say?
I believe that it's not an unreasonable defense to say, if they could prove that he's actually acquainted with.
You're right. If he had a friend there, but then again, that friend's going to testify, and I don't believe he has a friend there. I don't believe he's going to get.
What if I told you from the court documents and court records that are all public in regards to all these people that live in that area that have known associates, that these people have had, you know how to look up a criminal record, right? Very easy. You know how to look up a name in the I-court system. Some of these people had connections that had plea deals that may be able to say and testify, yes, we know him. Yes, we know where he was. Isn't it the media's job to defame, slander, and just diminish this guy's name as much as they can to make him look like he did this in 2 to 3 minutes?
No, the media's job is to sell stories.
And it
Where-
sounds like they've sold you pretty good.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Where did you get?
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully. Yes.
I mean, just based off looking at all of the evidence against him, there's no other reason for him to have been there 23 times before. There's no other reason for his cell phone to have turned off 20 minutes
There is a
before the
reason
murder.
for the cell phone. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
You. There's
But when you said he's been there 23 times, did you see him there 23 times?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that his cell phone says he was there 23 times. That's what Bertie just said, right?
Well, I'm agreeing with you that that's like what they're going with is like, see, this proves it. But again, as far as concrete evidence, DNA is on the sheath. They had to send it to 2 different labs, and it comes back without the chain of custody, and it's doubled in size.
I mean, I don't know anything. I can't go into that. I can't say that, oh, they planted more evidence but again, how many people would have to be in on this?
Not that many.
For people to plant evidence, it would have to be one of the first cops, right? One of the local PD.
Yep. And it's happened many times.
In Moscow, it has not.
Or maybe it was the cleanup crew, if we're being very transparent.
Again, but there would be Latah County employees, correct?
No,
Right.
there is an expert witness. Well, no, there is an expert witness that took a look at everything and says that there could be 2 to more perpetrators that did this, and there was a window of opportunity for a cleanup.
Right. And when I was saying right, Phoenix, I was about to make another point, not necessarily agreeing with that. But I also think, too, I mean, there's been some scandals about the police out there that you can just do a simple Google search.
I'm trying to think of one. I really am. I mean, and if you can show me evidence of something, I mean, to this scale of police corruption in the area, please, I would be very interested in learning about it.
So I want to dive into something else as far as, and it's going to continue going along with just like the evidence and the DNA and the suspicious roommate behavior. Have you heard any of the theories about potentially being protected individuals, either WITSEC or informants in that house?
No, I have not heard those.
Okay.
I just they were prior WITSEC. Is that what you're implying?
2 of the victims, or I guess 2 of the people that lived in the house more so.
Whom?
Their parents cooperated with Xana and Bethany.
Okay. Their parents cooperated with
In some sort of like, whether it was a narco human trafficking ring and then a rug case. And that was what I guess you could call it, like the TikTok true crime world heard too, is that this was a rug hit because one of those kids' parents put some people in jail and they got out and they found out that they were the ones that flipped. And so they did a hit on their kids.
No, I have not heard that, but can you give me more information on what exactly, I guess, happened prior with regards to Bethany and you said Maddie, their parents being involved in some sort of quote unquote, I mean, snitching, I guess, to law enforcement? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, again, that's the rumors of it. So I'm just asking more so, have you heard anything? I feel like what's kind of...
I have not heard anything in regards to that, no.
I gotta say, man. Oops, I'm sorry if you guys hear that. It's because I haven't clicked on my computer. I guess I got to tell you, like, I've had a lot of people claim that they were like locals and whatnot. And you're the first local that has reached out and said, I don't think anything else is going on. And he's this. So I can appreciate you coming up here and defending your position. Again, I hope you can understand, like, we can agree to disagree. At the end of the day,
I've got an old ID that has my old address on it. I can show you if you want to see that.
Look, I mean, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't need to see it, but I do appreciate you being willing to come up here and duke it out. And like I said, that's kind of like what we Phoenix and I have tried hard to do, and not just kick people because they disagree. But I will say,
I don't know if you can see that. I'm just showing it to you.
No, it won't let you, because I don't think you can do your camera. It's only audio.
It won't let me show my.
I don't know if it will.
Yeah, and you should never share your personal information.
This is an old address.
Yeah.
I don't live there anymore.
I would never.
Covering up my name. So, but you see Moscow, Idaho right there?
Yep.
So.
Oh, there he is. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Alpha Kenny. And I will say that there is a slight suspicion that I have that you might be a Fed and you're just pushing the news. I feel like I was talking to somebody who
I am not a Fed. I can tell you.
Well, you should definitely be honored.
Yeah.
We loved having you.
Yeah.
So thanks for letting me talk. Just one other point, if you don't mind, just one before I go.
Sure.
There is, again, I don't think that all of this behind, I mean, all these different theories that you guys are coming up and throwing at, again, there has to be multiple different parties involved. And not only on the federal level, but on the judicial level of local and the executive law enforcement level of local as well.
Wait a minute. You just said this was a conspiracy theory, that you didn't believe that Brian did this. Now you're saying there's a higher level involved?
The FBI was involved, were they not? The FBI helped out on the case, yes?
Well, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
I get. So it did kind of sound like what Phoenix was saying, but I guess.
No, I'm sorry. I meant like because the FBI was involved. The FBI helped out on finding this. The FBI was the one who coordinated his return and coordinated the raid of his house, right?
Kenny, within 8 hours, they had 44 feds flown in, 44 plus, to do investigations on hundreds of the people at the frats.
This was a huge thing for such a small town, and things like that don't happen. And Spokane, Washington has and which is very close, it's like an hour and a half away, has an FBI base there. And they have flights to Moscow Pullman Airport from Seattle, from Boise daily. And so it's not a huge thing to have. I mean, 44 sounds like a lot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm taking your word on that. But the Moscow Police Department was very unequipped to deal with something of this measure. Like I said, the last murder they had was 10 years ago, and it was nothing like this. They immediately knew who that was. And so they've never had to like do an investigation of this. I mean, just something of this sorts or this magnitude. So they were very unequipped to do it. So they had the state police come in first, I believe, and then the feds.
So, but how would they know that they were unequipped to do it within 8 hours? Like,
because 4 people were
I get that,
unalived,
how did they
and they had no idea who did it.
Right, but I'm saying within 8 hours, you're telling me that all of the crime scene photos were taken, all like any evidence was examined. For all we know, there could have been the smoking pew pew of evidence that was sitting right inside the front door where they would have had the resources to do that. I understand what you're saying from the magnitude of it and the brutality of it, but what if you took out the high profile nature that it was all over the news right away? And what if you just took out all of the creepy stuff about it being Koberger? And I would say, like, there's cases like this that, you know, there's multiple unalivings every weekend in some cities that don't get the feds called in within 8 hours.
Yeah, because they have multiple. It's not uncommon for that to happen.
But
And
let me give some statistics here to bring it back to logic. Moscow Police Department has over 35 commissioned police officers on staff. These officers provide around the clock service to Moscow and the University of Idaho.
I mean, that's all police. All police departments are around the clock, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's I believe there is logical holes, and I can understand that you're set that this is Koberger and Koberger only. I will say that for being local, to only really repeat what everybody's heard on CNN or MSNBC or Fox is strange to me.
I mean, I have friends who are lawyers who are inside the Latah County Courthouse daily. I have had interactions with Judge. I mean, he's not saying this outright, but Judge believes that this is Koberger. And so,
how did
go ahead.
I was going to say, so I saw that you just kind of had followed me when this live started. And again, you hadn't seen any of my videos.
Nope.
Do you just randomly pick creators that disagree with the narrative and ask to come up and say that you're local? Like, I'm just confused as to, like,
This is my first time ever being on a live. I've never been on a live before.
How did you come across this?
I was scrolling through TikTok. I saw it says topic Idaho 4 breakdown. It piqued my interest. I started listening, and you guys started talking about some stuff that was a little out of sorts, in my opinion, just a little crazy, in my opinion. And as somebody who, as far as the majority of people who know about this case, I would say that I'm more equipped to speak about the people of Moscow, how Moscow works, the police department, all of that.
So, Kenny, let me ask you a question. You said you were working for the property management company. You knew the layout of that house, correct?
Yeah, I've been in the house.
You also said it wouldn't be hard to take that route and bury the murder weapon.
No, it wouldn't. You drive out, like on the way to Uniontown, you're driving south of town towards Lewiston, you head west towards Uniontown, it's nothing but fields.
And you also have a criminal background?
Yeah.
And you live local.
I live in Spokane now.
But you've met the roommates.
I met them because I showed them the house.
And you lived there a very long time.
Yep, I was born there. Went to school there.
You're very trusting because you tried to show us your ID.
I mean, what are you guys going to do with an old expired ID of where I'd no longer live?
I don't know. Some would say it's a little
But
suspicious.
how would you even get the idea of burying anything? Did you
if I was to try and dispose of a murder weapon, sorry, I apologize. Murder weapon, that's what I would do. And especially if the way that it is shown that he left the scene and the route is correct on the way he did it, it is the most probable,
I agree.
Case.
I agree. What kind of car do you drive?
A white Elantra. Why? Get out of here.
You're messing with us. You gotta be.
No, obviously. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
No, I don't drive a white Elantra.
Well, I gotta tell you though,
I'm dying over here. It's
Yeah.
been fun.
it has been fun, and this is good. This is good. But also, again, I just want to reiterate, I'm shocked when I saw that you were like, I've worked for the property management company, I've met the roommates, I've shown them the house, I've been.
I mean,
in the
I'll tell you
house.
something that's a little bit more revealing.
Please
My
do.
mother owns the property management company.
You know a lot of people in that town.
Yeah. So so let me ask you this. And again, obviously only answer whatever you feel comfortable. Like, did your mother or father, did they sit on any like Chamber of Commerce boards? Were they involved in the community? Did they have any kind of ranking
Years
title?
ago, my dad was the president of the Chamber of Commerce. And my mom's a well-known realtor in the area. Broker, realtor.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. So then can you talk us through, since you would probably know, and I'm not being I'm not being sarcastic when I say this. When that house was originally owned by your guys' property management, so that means you guys
Was
own
not
that.
owned house. No, we did not.
You just own the company.
The company, yes.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm saying we is like the royal we, as in my family, my mother specifically. And the owners, I don't even know if the owners had ever met with my mom. I just think that they were looking for property management companies in the area, and they contacted them and went about it that way. And it's not very uncommon at all.
What is
there's lots-
sorry, random. What's the name of the hospital in Moscow?
Gritman?
And
Just like a test.
it was.
Yeah.
But you
Gritman.
passed.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm from Moscow. I don't know how much more I gotta.
No, I believe you. I believe you. So I don't know. I don't really have any questions. I mean, like, I feel like I'm talking to a mainstream news anchor on it. That's about it. I mean, there's really.
I just think that this is a lot more cut and dry than you guys are making it out to be. And I believe come July, whatever, when this like jury selection's done and they start making their opening statements. I mean, it is going to be videoed, right? Is that something that was allowed?
My theory is that it's going to end up looking kind of like the G Lane case, where it's like a sketch artist. That's what I think is going to happen.
I thought they said that the judge would allow video cameras as long as it was civil or something like that. I don't know what his exact words. I thought that's what was
So
because they had been allowing them.
It's one.
yeah,
camera,
they've been
right?
allowing somewhat, but we don't know to what extent after all these new documents that are about to drop. But Kenny, I got a question for you.
Huh.
Tell me, you've lived there a while, and you said you went to college. And what do you think about these fight clubs?
I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. What do you mean fight clubs? Like, are you saying Moscow has fight clubs?
Well, there's videos of it that were scrubbed from online. That's not some conspiracy. That's
Can you show me some proof of that, or can you like point me in the direction of proof of that?
There are some still up on
there's still some
TikTok
still up. Yeah.
with faces that can be identified.
Of fight clubs. And so, I mean, if you show me, I can tell you if they're in public. I can tell you where that took place at. And
You could probably
I
search
mean-
it on TikTok and it would pop up. You could probably go to the archive machine or the Wayback Machine and talk about it. It's with the frats, and it's like it was a known thing. And
but so again, is that? I mean, it's calling it Fight Club is.
I mean,
I
that's where
think
somebody
it's
might get escalated and be
generous.
pissed off if they're doing rugs and they're drunk, and then they come back. And
I don't think that calling it a fight club. I mean, with drunken
Okay.
frat bros.
What would
going
you
out each
call
other.
it? No, we're talking about literally alleged fight clubs, betting, illegal transfers of funds. We're talking, yeah. I mean,
gonna
I'm
look
not
this
the
up
first
right now.
one.
This is
I'm not the
time
first
I've
one.
heard of it.
I'm not the first one to ask about it because it is local public news.
I have never heard anything about this, and I'm getting on my computer right now to look up. So, what would I search if I was trying to find some online articles or videos of this?
So I don't know. There's videos that pop up on my FYP of it. You can go to the archive machine. There's stuff on Reddit about it. If anybody in the chat knows a specific source, but what I'm can I also just point out, and I genuinely mean this, it certainly seems like there's always another question that you have to put it back on us. Like, I feel like this is like a tactic. I've used this tactic before, like in selling people on, when in my day jobs in doing sales and asking questions. And so I feel like that's what's happening, where there's kind of like always the hook of you end up putting it back on us to clarify. And it seems like the answer just kind of gets a little bit muddied up, and it just seems like it's more of a tactic that you're doing.
I'm not trying to be coy or anything like that. I've never heard of fight clubs in Moscow. And this is coming from someone who, I mean, back when I was in high school and early college, would get drunk and go out and fight.
Right.
And
but also, can you see our perspective? You know everything else about it. You end up knowing about it after you kind of say and lead us to believe you don't know that much about it. You ask us to tell you about it, and then when we tell you about it, you have the opposite answer in detail.
So I'm going to help you out. I'll help you out, Kenny. Google, ready?
Yep.
Google local fight clubs, Moscow, Idaho.
Moscow, Idaho.
I want you to scroll down to about the 6th article and click on it. It says Moscow's real life.
Valhalla Fight Club? This one?
No. Go scroll down. There's an article. It's Moscow's real life fight club looks insane. And this has been going on for decades.
So I see
it's a picture.
Moscow,
it's a picture
Idaho,
of
Secret Fight Club, YouTube, Valhalla Fight Club, Front Street Fights.
Guys.
No, go down to the article with the guys. There's 5 guys in the picture. 2 guys are holding big, huge
Mm-hmm. Guys, and also I'm gonna make a call here, and I appreciate it. We can't see the screen being shared. I wanted to let you up, and I gave you the floor. I will say thank you for being respectful, Phoenix, and I appreciate that. And you made the same points of the media, but you did do it in a way that wasn't like how some people have in the past. So I will say thank you for that, but I am going to let you run. So
yeah,
have a good night.
So hopefully July we'll all find out. I mean, do you believe it's going to be a fair trial? Can I ask you that? Or do you think that
August 11th is the first day of trial? Okay. And no, I don't think it's fair.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
He was trying to hook us again, everybody.
That was a great exercise. But you know what? My little Hispanic